Welcome back to the Real Country File. This week's episode is sponsored by Ascenso tyres, and if you go into Lama this week you can catch them at Hall 6, and if you mention the Real Country File they'll give you a free goodie bag apparently as well, so you want to make sure you get there. Anyway, coming up this week, Angela's in Shropshire and Steve is in Lancashire. Now over to Ellie from Ascenso tyres to say what they do. I'm at the Midlands Machinery Show still. It's now currently dry because we're inside and we're on the Ascenso tyre stand with Emily? Ellie, sorry, got it wrong, never mind. So tell us a little bit about Ascenso tyres.
So Ascenso is an Indian tyre manufacturer. We through BA Bush, we recently launched it in the UK beginning of last year, and yeah, so far they are going from strength to strength. So we're here at Midlands Machinery, showing them off basically.
And how long have Ascenso tyres been going?
So we brought them into the UK in around March 2021, so fairly new, but so far feedback's been really, really good on them. A lot of farmers really pleased with them.
Yeah, so like I say, check out the link below the video. And also, is it Bush tyres as well?
Yeah, so we're BA Bush.
BA Bush tyres.
Yeah, BA Bush tyres.
Also, you are going to be at Lama. Do you know what stand you're on?
So we are in Hall 6. Stand number's not been confirmed yet, but we're in Hall 6.
Hall 6.
You'll be able to find us. We'll have our big Ascenso flags up, so you'll be able to find us.
Oh, they're behind. I couldn't see them. Yes, keep your eye out for big tyres, and you'll know where they are. So thanks for sponsoring this week's episode.
That's all right. Thanks for having us.
Obviously, that was filmed when we were at the Newark Machinery Show. Anyway, don't forget Lama Hall 6. So over to Angela now, who's been in Shropshire. So from Newark to Shropshire.
So you might think that people working in farming just grow crops or work with animals or drive tractors, but there's a whole section of people that work in the agricultural industry that don't wear wellies as part of their day job. So I'm here today at a meeting for agricultural rural professionals to see how collaboration with those sorts of different industries within the sector can work together. So, Katie, you've been involved in organising today's meeting, so what's it all about?
So I'm Katie and I'm from SRH Agribusiness, and I've organised this group to bring together rural professionals in this area to share knowledge exchange and just generally issues that we face in everyday work.
So what's been one of your key takeaway things from today's meeting then, Hugh?
I guess it's been really good to be with a group of like-minded people, particularly people who have recently started their own businesses, so everyone's got similar kind of problems and goals, and so it's great to sort of share ideas. One thing we talked about was retaining staff in a growing business, and people had different ideas of doing that, working within larger companies and smaller companies, so I think we all took home some great stuff. We also heard about energy and how that could affect us going forward and what we should be doing, so yeah, really, really interesting day.
So we've just finished our first session and already I've taken so much away just from having different consultants, professionals around the table, and we've all shared ideas. I have to admit I've already thought of jobs and things with other solicitors that I can potentially work and collaborate with them. So already very successful.
The main takeaway for me at this meeting is that other people have a lot more of the answers, where in some ways if you're not careful you're very insular, you just stick with nutrition, where a lot of answers with the people that attended today's meeting are all the same problem, but they have some different answers and novel ways of trying to change the future.
Well, I've just started my own business and I've just realised what a diverse mix of people we've got in the room, and the networking is fantastic. I've also learned loads already just in our first session this morning.
So one of the many benefits of having the meeting in a lovely venue here at Fordhall Farm in Market Drayton is they've got a cafe as well, so I'm looking forward to tucking into my lunch now.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Now, over to Stephen, who's been on a dairy farm in Lancashire. See how he's been getting on.
Well, out and about again on this week's The Real Country File, and I've come along to speak to a farming family that used the adversity of the lockdown to start up a new business venture that's growing some really good business. Well, how do, Joe? Tell us a little bit about where we are and about your farm.
Where we are at Fordhall Farm Dairies in Darwin, we produce and process our own milk. We run two farms across from one another on a valley. One side we use as a dairy, and the other side is obviously the production farm. Here down at the processing plant, we've just opened a little farm shop in addition to his dairy, and it's growing quite well.
So we'll come to the shop in a minute. Just tell me a bit about, you said, the production side. So one side at Valley, you have the cows and the milking parlour, and then what have we got on this side of the valley?
Over this side with dairy, we run our own milk rounds. We supply our own wholesale customers. Currently processing around 5,000 litres a day.
Wow.
And it's going to lots of local suppliers and in and around Lancashire.
So you've got your own milk rounds, and then you're supplying other people as well?
Yes, we've 3 doorstep rounds. We have shot rounds, we do care homes and various different works and outlets and shops and restaurants and so on.
Right, okay, so I'll ask you first of all then, what about the restaurants at the minute? Are they, has it been a good festive period? Have you kind of...
It's been reasonable.
Right.
It's not been anything spectacular. It's not been half as good as it has been in previous years.
Right.
But it's down to January now, so the hospitality trade is very quiet at the minute.
Right. So it drops off. So you've got a production plant here. The milk's thousands of litres that you're putting into bottles. You're bottling up.
Yes.
And how far away do you go delivering from here? 10 miles? 15?
Well, to be honest, I've just come back from delivering in Stockport.
Oh, right, okay, so 20 odd mile away, yeah, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Maybe nearly 30 have you got far side?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting out and about. So they're your core businesses,
yes,
if you will. You've got your cows over the valley, you've got your milk production here, and now we've got this shop. So tell me how this began, how this venture started.
Well, what it was, me and my wife, we decided during lockdown that we were going to try and help people out who couldn't get out of the house, as we were up and at it already, and we're very busy. We had loads of new customers on, and we just fancied a little bit more work.
It was a boom, wasn't it, for farmers who delivered milk and milkmen? It was a real boom.
It was a boom, and at the time you couldn't get all the bread so good, and there were a few other things you couldn't get hold of. Anyway, we made an agreement with a local bakery, and we started getting bread and pies and cakes and various other bits and bobs and meats from local butchers, and we started putting packages together to go and deliver onto people's doorsteps.
So during lockdown, that was a real asset to a lot of people then, who the food was just turning up and they didn't have to go out and all the masks and everything out there. So
it were very busy, and it were very good quality produce and all locally sourced as well.
So obviously the lockdown ends, people are out and about again. You've built up a loyal customer base, and you've thought to yourself, well, why not get them here at farm then?
Yeah, as it were a bit of a long time coming. It took us a couple of years to get round to it, but we had this little place at the corner of the barn set up, and we eventually got round and thought, right, we're gonna get doing. We're gonna make a start and put something together, and that's what we've got here.
So you've pulled this shop together. I noticed on the shelves there's a lot of local producers. There's some like essentials that you would expect that someone will bob in and grab, but you've got on top of them you've got a lot of local producers from Lancashire, haven't you?
There is, yeah. There's a lot. We try to use as local a stuff as we can. We've got the milk, as you know, is very, very local.
It's about 20 metres, isn't it?
But yeah, there's various jams and chutneys and drinks and meat, as I said, and it all comes from, well, within a 5 mile radius, as I said.
I noticed the honey is the same address as the farm. So is that 0 food miles? Are you a beekeeper?
Personally, we're not beekeepers, no. However, there is somebody who lives down the road who keeps the bees here at the back.
So on your farm?
Yes,
Right.
just at the back of the building here. And they're kept there, and through summer they produce this honey what we sell here.
Brilliant. So that is actually 0 food miles. And the other thing I noticed was raw milk. Got raw milk in the fridge. Is there a big market for raw milk?
There is. There's a large market for raw milk. People do come from all over to buy it. It's used a lot by people of different ethnicities to use the traditional delicacies, if you would, and dishes.
All right. So in the cooking, used by people from different cultures, different styles of cooking, they prefer the raw milk.
Yeah.
Right,
There's a lot of people in a lot of the foreign countries, if you would. There's not much food processing about, so there's lots of foods what they can only make with raw milk.
And of course, you've got more stringent controls to be able to sell raw milk directly.
Yeah. We do have to have a license to sell it, and it does cost a fortune. But yes, we are set up for selling raw milk.
Well, I'm just going to touch on, if I can, a little bit about the costs then. So obviously, prices for things are going up all over. I'm just conscious. I'm thinking about electric for a start. What kind of cost have you seen change on the farm with the electric?
The electric has gone up about 7 times what it used to be.
Right. Okay.
So it's gone quite expensive, and then various other plastic is also a big contributor to
for the
expense.
2 litre milk bottles and that.
The milk bottles have shot up.
What kind of difference are they from what were they to then, maybe before the inflation stuff, to now? The
plastic has nearly doubled.
Right.
Plastic has nearly doubled. Then you've got milk itself, which has also pretty much doubled in price.
Right.
It's all gone very expensive.
So opening up a new business, whilst being risky, is also another valuable kind of income stream for you on the farm, just to keep the main business going, if you will. It's kind of all supplements each other.
It is, yeah. It's more of a hobby, if you would. At the minute, we're not going to be retiring millionaires just yet.
Okay.
But it is going quite well, and it is just another notch in the belt, if you would, to try and bring in a little bit of extra income and just do something a little bit different.
And I noticed, right, it's January and you've got an ice cream fridge. How's that going down in East Lancashire for ice cream in January?
You'd be surprised at the amount of people that love ice cream in January. It's
brilliant.
It is. It's going really good, and they go and get themselves some ice cream and get themselves some sticky toffee pudding, and they're happy as anything. Jobs are good.
Well, listen, Joe, we'd love to come back and see you in the summer, see how this small enterprise that you bolted on grows, and we wish you all the very best of luck from everyone at the Real Country Farm.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Now, you do know that I enjoy a Dyno day, and there's a lot of people running for charity. We may even do one here soon, but George Saunders is running one in June, so here's over to George to explain a bit about that.
Howdy folks, it's George from the George Saunders YouTube channel. It's great to be on the Real Country Farm. Now, for those of you that don't know me, a little bit of background. I've been working now on the family dairy farm for about 4 years. We milk 120 head. Well, actually, no, it's about 130 at the minute, because our sort of winter time, this time of year, is our sort of busiest period lot. Although we calve all year round, about 220 head on the farm, with the followers, heifers, calves, all that sort of thing. We also farm about 300 acres, and of course, the fact that we're a dairy and we've got arable, both sides complement each other. The arable produces the straw and the wheat that the cows eat and lay on, and the cows, they produce the slurry and the muck that goes back on the fields as fertiliser. So we've got a very good system, both sort of are well matched to each other. Now, one of the main reasons for talking to you today is because of this old girl. Now, she's probably one of the most famous TWs in the country. I've had her for about 8 years now. Long old time. Obviously, I've been videoing her over that period, because I've been on YouTube for about 10 years, something like that. So she's pretty famous. And for a long time, I've wanted to put her on a dyno. Now, me and a farming mate of mine, Matthew King from Manchester in Huntingdon, we were talking in the summer in harvest and that, when I was over there doing a bit of filming. And we were sort of talking about, and we said, why don't we have I've been trying to organise a Dyno day for a long time, and we said, well, this year we're going to do it. So basically, 21st of this month, January, TW25, she's going to be going over to Matthew's farm, and he's got a vast selection of classic tractors as well, Ford TW30, John Deere 4955, loads of classic tractors. And we're going to get the dyno in from Sharman. Sharman's agriculture are going to supply the dyno, and we're hoping to get a lot of other farmers there with their tractors to go on the dyno, not just for the bragging rights, because that's sort of what it is. Like, my tractor's more powerful than your tractor, but it's also a good excuse to catch up with our fellow farmers, because we don't see each other as much these days. Only when you've got things like that, dyno days or tractor runs, or the country fair, something like that, you don't tend to meet up as much as what you used to. That was a big part of us sort of planning this Dyno Day. And as a result of that, the two charities we've picked are RABI and YANA Help, both of which do fantastic work with farmers that are struggling and maybe struggling mentally a bit, like everything seems to be sort of getting on top of them. Well, these guys help out, and they need our help to help farmers back. So that was the reason we chose those two. So it's all in aid of them. Hopefully we'll raise a fair bit of money. If you'd like to get involved, if you're local enough that you want to bring a tractor, brilliant. If you're local enough that you just want to come and spectate, also great. My email will be in the description below, or even just leave a comment below in the video and I will get back to you. Or if you want to donate, again, just great. It's all for a good cause. Stay tuned to The Real Countryfile for an update when it's all done, with a bit of footage from the day as well. And hopefully seeing this old girl, hopefully not blow up on the dyno. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. See you on the next one. Ta-ta!
Thanks for that, George. Don't forget, check it out. That's in June. Also, thanks again to Ascenso Tyres, who have sponsored this episode. And if you are at Lama, go and find them in Hall 6. See if you can find Ellie as well. And she might give you a goodie bag, or she should do if you mention The Real Countryfile. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you all next week.